Well, Laguna Beach is an extraordinary place. Very few towns in the world were founded by artists, as you could say Laguna Beach was. I mean, the first settlers here at the end of the 19th century were mostly artists. And it's continued to be an unusual kind of town.
In so many ways, Laguna Beach is the ideal community in which to have an art museum. I've never worked in a community that's so receptive to the visual arts. It's part of their DNA.
The local community members are very passionate about the museum and the history of the museum. And I think most of that comes from the fact that the museum, as well as to some extent this town, were founded by artists. And so that artistic legacy is what makes it so unique and so special.
Members of the community, from a preschooler to a newly arrived retiree, feel a sense of ownership in this museum. This is our collective expression of our history and our values and our aspirations. People feel this is theirs, this belongs to them.
Well, Laguna Beach was pretty small when the association was founded in 1918. I think the population was only 300 people. It's still not huge. It's something like 25,000 people now. So it's a remarkable thing that we have an art museum at all. I mean, very few towns of this size have an ambitious, professionally run art museum. It's all to do with its artistic tradition and heritage, of course. From the beginning, this organization wanted to be a cultural center for everybody. So they had art lectures, they had music concerts in their little first gallery. Eventually they started showing films. And that's all very close to our hearts now at Laguna Art Museum, because those are the sort of things that we do. They were all kind of foreseen in the activities of our founders.
It is that history, that legacy that ties it back to its founding in 1918 that makes it so important and so vibrant to this community. There's not many things in California that have been around that long, and so the Laguna Art Museum is definitely unique from that perspective.
You know, the citizens of the town have a job to do. They always have. They've always been active from the very inception, before we were even incorporated in 1927, right up to today and into the future. First of all, one of the jobs they have to do is to support the museum. And the museum has a job to do, which is to help motivate our younger generations of citizens to learn about and to love both the old and the new Laguna art, and to get involved in the town's aesthetic issues. Because aesthetics is everything in Laguna Beach. And if it wasn't darn pretty to look at, nobody'd want to paint it.
You know, every generation we look back at the young people and we're going, oh, they don't do it the way we did, or they're not going to do this. They come alive when it's time to come alive. You know, I mean, when I was a youngster, everybody was saying the same thing to me. You know, you don't know what we've been through and what we are all about. And at the time, I probably didn't. But now I know. They'll come fighting back. The one thing that I've, as an educator, you know, I tried to always make sure that my students knew to put up the good fight when there's a time to put up a good fight, and what you're fighting for is valid and meaningful, and you stand up for what you believe in. And I think that will happen in this town too. It just will.
The museum is a focus, if you like, for the characterfulness of a community like Laguna Beach. And I think that's that's part of the key to the extraordinary fact that this institution, although changing its name, has been around for 100 years.